Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
We are here today. I always say that as though I'm starting a funeral. We are gathered here today.
Yeah.
To discuss Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie, which is, my copy's very battered because I've travelled with it, so it's like falling apart. But this one is the first standalone in the First Law universe and book 4 overall, if you are reading in order, as we are. This live show has been delayed. Apologies, it's been delayed a lot because it was supposed to be in September, but we made it here eventually. It was supposed to be the second week in September, but none of us were here. So, and yeah, this is what we will be discussing. We're running at half mast. Is that a thing? Half skeleton crew is on the
Literally just skeleton crew. It's like, we're trying, okay? 2 months late and we're only half here, but we're trying.
2 months late and only half here. Wow, we've that ended to it. Yeah, I guess we'll start with everyone's non-spoilery thoughts and ratings, starting with Cody.
I don't know my rating. It's probably a 3.5 because I didn't love it enough to justify it being a 4-star. But I will say, reading a standalone for one of these is quite refreshing. That was maybe why I put the 0.5. Because, yeah, I liked, of course, that the characters, well, some kind of side characters from the first book came into this a little bit, so it felt still connected. And I just love a badass bitch who's going to kill some men for revenge. So I was vibing. Didn't love it as much as the original trilogy, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see about the other standalones, for sure. How about you, Ashley? Hated it. 2 stars.
2.5 stars. I started out enjoying it, which is why I'm kind of more bummed out about this one, because I was like, again, kind of the way that you were, Cody, I like a revenge story. So it started off and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I like the very clear motive of just going to murder people. Why not? But then for it being a standalone, it just kept going. And it was just the same thing happening over and over again. And alongside that, to me, it felt like all of Joe Abercrombie's character archetypes were just copy-pasted onto new names. So I was kind of like, I've read it before, and I didn't like it last time, so I don't like it now. So I was just, because especially as well, with the whole, I'm very sick of how he defaults back to everyone being crippled and, disabled in some way, and that just being ugly and bitter, and that just kept coming up, and I was like, all right, get it now. We've been through all this before, give me something new. So not the one for me, I'm afraid.
Apparently I liked it the least because I gave it 2 stars. I did not like anything about it until the end. I don't, because I liked his writing and his humor in the trilogy, but I just did not like his writing at all in this. I couldn't gel with any of the characters. The only things that I did like about it is how some of the relationships developed due to events in the stories. And I liked how the reveals came at the end and it turned into it's still a standalone, but it has implications for a potential wider plot that I don't know what that is. Some of the characters are not who they seem. So I liked that, but I felt like I didn't gel with any of the characters, and I feel like, I know, Ashley, you said you felt like they were copy and pasted onto new names, but I liked the characters in the trilogy, and I didn't like anybody here. I did like the Poisoner, mainly because of how his arc plays out at the end. I liked that. But yeah, apart from that, I just could not get into it at all. So the more it progressed, the less interest I had in it, because I didn't even start off being invested in it. Oh, Steph DNF'd. Oops.
Not even Koska. I really liked Koska.
Oh, yeah, no, I did. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I liked that we had recurring characters as well, or characters from. I like Vitari. But they were characters that I already knew. So any new characters that were introduced, I just wasn't invested in, and the characters that I was already familiar with, I was already slightly attached to.
Yeah, I liked how Giselle came into it. That made me laugh. And then he just passed out. And yeah, I like the implications for the other ones. I also kind of saw, what's his name? Shiver, whatever his name was. He was kind of like a reverse Nine Fingers in the sense that he started off with good intentions and then just went to shit by the end. That was kind of good, like a reverse way. I like that. Yeah, let's see how everyone got on with this book. Funeral Vibe's not bad for this book.
We have very mixed opinions, although I think a lot of them are still higher rated than ours. So,
like a lot of people, like it's wild because like loads of people were like me and were like, I don't like this, but I like the trilogy, and lots of people were like, I hate the trilogy, but I love this book. And I don't understand. I being one of those people don't understand the difference. Like I don't know how I could dislike this so much and like the trilogy so much. I don't.
What was it? Because you said that you liked his writing in the trilogy, but not in this. Is there anything in particular that made
No, I just didn't connect to his writing in this at all. Like I never got into the book, and obviously, like that's not necessarily a direct reflection of me disliking his writing, but I have connected to his writing in the past, which is like I feel like the writing's the vehicle with which you enjoy the story, and I just did not get into this at all. So like it's not that I disliked his writing just did nothing for me at all. I didn't think that the humor was funny when I thought that it was funny in the trilogy.
I will say the plot got a little bit convoluted somewhere in the middle, but it did kind of feel like episodic because like each part was a different death. So I'd always be like, well, I'm not that invested in this one, but the next one might be good. And there was different death styles for each one. So I thought that was quite good. Also, yeah, we're just totally going straight into spoilers, aren't we? We haven't even done like a spoiler warning or anything.
Spoilers come in. No. I feel like that's not super spoilery anyway.
I was going to say, we didn't say who died or when or why, so
I think the thing that does bug me about Joe Abercrombie is that he tries to, people say that he subverts fantasy tropes, but I feel like he mocks fantasy, which I just think is a bit rude. So like I don't like it because like he doesn't have maps because he doesn't think all fantasies need maps. Like it's like grow up. It's fine. It's a map. Calm down.
It would really help my brain. Yeah.
It's funny as well because it's like, oh yeah, subverts tropes, and I'm like, well, he really likes the resurrection trope. Like, God, no one stays dead in this book. I'm like, let me die. Like literally my notes, because I started making notes of the characters because I was struggling to remember who was who because I kept thinking of the other characters in the previous trilogy. And my notes is literally like, spoilers. Costco, dead. Never mind, not dead. I was just like, every time I was just like, never mind.
I do like how the characters subvert their own trope. So like Costco subverted his own personality by playing into his personality. In the bit where like he says that he's going to fight for the side that he's going to fight for, and then he doesn't fight for them. He just says that he is and does nothing, which is doing what everyone expects him to do, but in a way that goes against what everybody expects him to do because he ends up helping out the other side. If that makes sense. Like I liked stuff like that happened towards the end.
Yeah. Didn't he also pay each side to not fight or something? Or like he made it so that no one would fight or something. Again, it got a little bit convoluted for me, but he was like a puppet master at one point, and I was enjoying that. Yeah, he had some banging lines as well. I think there was a line at the end of the book where he was just like, "People don't change," kind of vibe. He was just like,
and he does the thing like he doesn't drink, but everyone thinks that he drinks because he's always drinking out of a flask.
Yeah,
but it's milk.
Yeah,
I liked that element.
Yeah, there was a lot of characters in this, and I was getting confused too.
I think a real problem for me was with this book is that it introduced a bunch of new characters, and then very quickly there was a lot of characters, and it went into dialogue scenes where it was a lot of back and forth, and I couldn't follow it because I hadn't spent enough time with the characters to really establish them and know who they were. So after reading a bunch of that, I kind of just lost interest. And when I've lost interest, it's not coming back. So because of the rough start, I never actually really got into it.
Yeah.
I love how Hannah says that, but Hannah also says that this one was their least favourite, but they're enjoying the heroes, even though it copies and pastes characters.
I didn't feel as connected with these characters in this one as I did the trilogy, but then again, we had 3 books worth of getting to know them, so that could have had something to do with it. But
I feel like we did quite well with the first book, though. Like, we got into it quite quickly and were intrigued and stuff.
I think just in particular, Glockter has such a presence, and I was a bit concerned that it would be a bit of a copy and paste of Glockter and our main lass. I forget the name already. Begins with an M. That one. Monza. That's it. Because she had so many injuries and she was in pain all the time. So I was wondering, is this going to be a complete copy and paste? But she's still got pretty privilege, doesn't she? Her face is fine. So she's able to woo these men and have respect. And it was a little bit different. But the way that she deals with her pain is different. She obviously takes opiates, whereas Glockter's just cycle of abuse. I'm going to do that to you now. That's quite interesting.
I was wondering how she got, because she was pretty broken. In the prologue, I don't know how they got her to a point where she could pass as somebody that hadn't had that level of damage to her body and could also fight.
Yeah.
That did confuse me.
Yeah, I'm sure at the beginning the guy was like, one of your knees is higher than the other. I was like, cool.
Yeah, the legs weren't the same length anymore. I know the damage in her fingers stayed in her right hand, so she had to fight with the left.
Joss. I'm so sorry, 3.5. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did like the poisoner as well. How he was like, I am so
I loved him. He was good.
Great. He was just always on about how much of a gentleman he was, but then really he was so devious and was able to gaslight himself. It was great. He was great.
He was my favorite just because he played out all of the kind of. Do you know if you've ever thought, what would I do?
Yeah.
And you start trying to find the smartest way to do something. And so he played out all of those, especially when I think it was with Day, when she thought that he'd poisoned her. So he gave her an antidote, and he was like, haha, that was actually the poison. And I was just
that was fun. That was
and
fun.
every time something like that happened, it really made me laugh because I was just smart.
It made me laugh. It was sad though when obviously Day was no longer in the book, but the way it was done was fun. It was
he went to save her, didn't he? Because he actually cared about her when they got captured, and then Monza told her that he was going to betray her, so she betrayed him, and he wasn't going to betray her.
Yeah. Because nothing can be nice in Joe Abercrombie's world. Everything is shit. Anyone who tries to do good, immediately. It's kind of great. Wondering how many ways he'd write about killing people. Yeah. Many ways. Quite a few. I'm intrigued for the heroes. Oh, see, I don't love the narration because he still keeps going grimaced. They grimace.
Oh, no.
No.
I listened to a little snippet of it and was like, I don't think he's for me. It was the spitting. Doesn't he do a lot of spitting when he's Glockter? And listens. But no, I could not.
I was going to say he's good at the acting, but it's not nice to hear. I will say,
Sex scenes.
If I have to read or listen to another Joe Abercrombie sex scene, I will just.
You know what, right? In this book in specific, there's 2 sex scenes happening at the same time that you think are happening with 2 people and are actually happening with different people. I skipped that sex scene because I was tired of sex scenes. And then when I got past it, none of the characters were who they were supposed to be, and I had to go back and read it. I'm so upset.
It's just, he uses the word squelch, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that was the choice.
That enough. I have never.
Julia's also just said about squelch.
Actually, just physically cringed away from a book, but Joe Abercrombie does it, and I'm like, I don't think I can do it anymore. It's so unnecessary as well.
Oh yeah, I also thought that the brother could have been alive. Yeah, the incest.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. That was never confirmed. She never confirmed it, but she never denied it either.
Yeah, it was literally just some honest, like, what my relationship with my brother was is for me to know type of situation, and we were like.
But also, like, did it happen because maybe she denies it because, or maybe she allows people to believe it because it plays into a legend?
Yeah.
Because she didn't confirm, she didn't even in a monologue, as far as I'm aware, she never confirmed or denied, or she never alluded to it herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny at the end when she was like, I am so justified in killing you, final boss. And then he's like, well, actually, your brother was going to take me out and put you on my throne. She's like, oh, shit. Yeah. Well, stab. Still need to kill you.
Yeah, I thought that the guy that turned up at the end was going to be the brother.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be the guy who put her back together. Also, isn't he, like, Bayaz doesn't like him? Yeah.
Vitari's husband. I don't know if they're married. Baby daddy? Vitari's baby daddy?
Yeah.
But then, are we going to see them again? Because, like, some things that happened at the end alluded to us potentially seeing them again.
Yeah. Seems like we might do.
I'll let you know if it's good, Emily.
I did have a soft spot for Friendly just because he just wanted to count things. He was having a grand old time counting things. Just doing his own thing.
I kept forgetting that he was a character until it was like it got to a bit where he was counting or rolling his dice, and I was like, oh yeah, he exists. But outside of him counting, I don't recall anything that he did.
But to be honest, like after a while, he just kept leaving and then coming back because he couldn't get where he wanted to be.
No, he had nowhere to go, and then he wanted to go back to prison, and then he couldn't go. What did he do after that? After he couldn't go back to prison, did he just come back?
It just goes with Costco, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Costco wants to be a duke or something. He wants some power somewhere else. Oh, I rated it the highest. I rated it 3.5. And then it's 2.5 for Ashley and then 2 for Becca.
We needed a 3 to round it out, so we were on a scale. But
yeah. Did we find out from the other gang, like the other folk, what they
rated? Did put in the chat what was the ratings, but let me see if they've responded because I don't have notifications on. They have not.
Okay. It's a mystery.
No, they have.
Oh.
Cass gave it 4.
Nice.
That's all we've got so far.
Shocked Pikachu meme moment. They very much was.
I think as well, like seeing Morvia's kind of, because he had his little sort of tantrum somewhere in the middle where he was trying to be nice to people, and he was just like, why is no one letting me be nice to them? Why does everyone think I'm going to kill them? And then it's like, but I am the best poisoner though. Yeah. It's like
he kept calling himself humble the whole time and he was nothing.
No.
And then it's like he had his whole, little hissy fit because they didn't want to eat his soup because it could have potentially poisoned it, and it was just like, well, if I was going to kill it, I'd do it in this way instead.
Yeah, it was fun. I did, thinking about it, I did really like him.
Oh, my favorite scene in the whole book, I think, was the crowning, the coronation, where like they all dropped dead and we just opened up a bunch of white doves and just like in my brain I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah, no, I love that. And his whole revenge mission where he did become, and then the way that they let him be the best poisoner ever by adding to his legend and saying that he killed everyone that he didn't.
Yeah, it was good. See, now I'm thinking maybe it's more than a 3.5, but I'm sure it'll round back down again.
Oh, he's like the only reason why I'm at 2.5.
You know what? I've changed my rating system, so what I would have given a 3 previously, I now give a 2 to. So 2 means it was fine, whereas 3 used to mean it was fine. Oh. 3 now means I liked it.
Oh.
So that's it would be a 3 like 6 months ago, but it's a teen.
Okay.
This is the thing, because 2.5 to me is like exactly in the middle, so I'm like,
I don't like the 0.5 though, it makes me feel indecisive. Even though I am.
To me, it's just a translation of like 7 out of 10. Well, it's not, because that's not one. It's 5 out of 10 in that situation, but.
Well, does seem like a very good translation.
I'm also very sorry if you can hear snoring. Tibbs is snoring. It's really cute though. I just need to show everybody.
So it's just
Yeah. Oh, he's so big.
He's got his
the little
over his eyes, snoring away.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's a little cat moment for you. But also,
they're just repulsive.
Just because I'm reading the new comments coming in, and Gavin's here talking about how he wants to read sex scenes.
You don't want to read these sex scenes, Gav.
oh God,
I think Gav would really appreciate a squelch.
I can't remember what the other word was, because he said squelch twice, and then there was another one that came in, and I was like, I can't decide if that's worse or not. What it was.
Vitari's baby daddy has weird powers.
Is he one of the things like, what's that guy called that was friends with Baez?
Oh, I know who you mean, but I'm forgetting his name.
Does it mean with Y?
Mm.
Is he one of them? Because he was talking about sides and how he's not on their side anymore. He's on a different side. He reminded me, actually, I don't know why, but he reminded me of Holland from the Shades of Magic series.
Oh, yeah. I kind of get that.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, when he was first introduced, but before we knew who he was, I thought that it was potentially the guy that replaced Glockter that was putting her back together.
I thought so too, because it was like surgeon's instruments or torturer's instruments. I was like, oh.
So I don't know if this has anything to do with the association, but the type of, like, the portal travelers and a dog shade of magic are called Vitari.
That might be why. Isn't he blonde as well? Doesn't he have like silvery blonde hair? Or yeah, that's why. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm sure that's what they're actually called.
I read that many years ago, like pre-booktube. I read that, and I still remember Holland for some reason.
Tell me if you hate it. Oh yeah, he was an eater, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. Okay. And then Julia says he's an eater, not a magi or apprentice.
I kept forgetting he existed, and then he would pop into a chapter again, and I'd be like, oh, hello, forgot about you.
Because the eaters have their own agenda, don't they? Like they're working with that they were telling Glockter things that they shouldn't necessarily be saying. That's what good Gavosi sounds like.
Yul Wei. That was the name.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not one of those. He's an eater.
Finally caught up with the chat. Proud.
Hey, another 4-star.
4 stars, nice. So are we the odd ones here? Because we didn't give it 4 stars. It feels like most people really enjoyed it.
And Cass gave it 4 as well.
Interesting.
Like I had really good feelings about this going in because a lot of people said they were really enjoying it and it was an improvement on the trilogy, but I just don't agree.
Yeah. I want to know what Aaron rated it, because she was also very hit and miss with the first trilogy.
Yeah. I don't think she's told me. I don't think she said anything to me while she was reading it. I don't even know when she read it.
I'm going to say I don't remember seeing it on Goodreads, because usually I see all the things pop up, like 20 things a day.
Yeah, I know she's complaining a lot about Wheel of Time, because she's reading the same book that I am right now, or she was. But I don't remember her saying anything about this one.
She probably read it.
A good or a bad thing. That could probably be a very average thing, maybe.
Yeah. I think for me as well, the reason I maybe didn't love it as much as I thought I would is because I kept comparing these characters to the characters from the first trilogy. I'm just like, I miss Logan, I miss Glockter. Like, if you're going to bring some characters back, those are the ones I want to see.
Didn't Shivers have a moment in here where he did the thing that Logan does, where he went into the berserk mode.
Did he?
I thought that he did, and I was like, because he did the thing. I can't remember what it. He did the thing where he has like amnesia, and he doesn't remember what happened. I'm sure he does, and he like wakes up and he's like, "What did I do?"
Mm.
Which made me, because we were trying to work out whether that was a Logan thing or a magic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I did find it interesting as well that it turns out that like he actually hated his brother. After all that with Logan, he's like, no, I actually hate my brother, and I don't know if I was more pissed at the fact that I didn't get to kill him myself. And it's like, oh, okay, rewrote some lore there.
Yeah, Hannah, Anna, and Anna. Wow, there's two. That's wild. What?
I thought you were glitching, and then I looked
Wow.
Or is it a Northman thing?
I was going to say maybe it's an Northman thing.
Yeah.
I clearly didn't pick up on that.
Maybe it's a warrior thing.
Mm.
Because didn't we talk about potential like dissociation and battle rages and things of like, and maybe what happened to him?
Mm.
Yes, that was it. He said that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but will we ever get answers with Joe Abercrombie is the question.
I don't know.
Because I think that the reason why I picked up on that is because I thought it was interesting that Shivers came into this book having good intentions and wanting to be better, and obviously that declined throughout the book. But also he hates Logan, and the more you went through this book, the more he becomes him.
Yeah, and the more he kept quoting him, like, a wise guy once told me this, and you're like, well, that was Logan told you.
The only person you had to blame was himself.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping this is true as well. Glockter coming into a future book, because didn't he say he wanted her dead at one point? Like the cripple was like, kill Monza, and that didn't happen. So,
and I think Carlotte was saying, I can't remember what she wanted, but she was scared of the cripple, and she was like, I don't care if they get me as long as he doesn't get me. Like I need to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, right at this point, I have no idea how many people are backed by Valent and Balk or Valent and Bilk.
Yeah,
whatever they're called, the bank. Like everybody is backed by the bank.
Yeah, Bayaz owns everyone's ass. It's like, yeah.
And it was interesting being on, I guess, because they were trying to unite the Union, weren't they? Like they wanted Jazal, and because they didn't want Jazal to go to war with the country after the Duke was like deposed, and Monza's like, oh yeah, I really don't care. Which is interesting because that's the agenda of like Bayaz and the bank. It's still, this book and the way that it ended still plays into the theory that there is the Immortals are playing a wider game. But what is it that they want?
Yeah. Oh, also this, yeah. Monza's kid.
Whose baby is that? Did we work it? Oh no, she doesn't know, does she?
No, Shivers, or it's the other dude.
Was he a prince?
Yeah, begins with an R, I think.
Yeah.
Someone will remember.
I was going to say, I am doing, like, I clearly just lost interest at some point because I'm like, I stopped keeping track of what was going on in terms of like the details and whatnot.
It's like bells are ringing, but I couldn't ring them myself. It's like everyone keeps saying, somebody said it in the live show, they love Cosca and the goat, and somebody said it to me on my wrap up, and I'm like, I do not remember a goat. I do not remember a goat at all.
Neither do I. There was a goat? I'm just like,
yeah. I remember that he's got goat's milk in his flask that people think is alcohol.
Huh. Yeah, she made someone very mad, yeah. Yeah, that was quite funny. That's going to have
And he doesn't, he was like, what?
Yeah, it's like, gay?
The Gurkish is cool. Right. I forgot about that. But yeah, Bayaz is the bank.
Good question.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they're all at the beginning. They're like, "Oh, magic's not real. It's a myth from over there." It's like, okay.
To be fair, those are my favourite fantasies when everyone thinks that magic doesn't exist. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, I know that it does then, if you think that it doesn't.
Yeah. 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 Too many characters, man, in this soup of a book.
I do believe it does, but there is a collection of short stories in between.
Children of the First Trilogy.
The goat was at the big battle. He was playing both sides on, just grazing next to him. I loved the goat. The goat made no impression on me. That's weird, because I usually love animals in books.
No recollection of the goat. A lot of people love it. Maybe that's why we didn't rate it highly.
Maybe.
The goat would have been at least 1 star itself.
Yeah. Genuinely.
One thing that I think as well didn't help with me keeping everything in line like it was meant to be, and I don't think it happened in the first trilogy, is that the chapters in this, we quite often jumped back and forth in time with no indication besides someone being alive again all of a sudden.
Yeah. That did happen a few times.
Because I know especially as well, because I tried just listening to the audiobook, and then I figured out real quick that I needed to read along with it for at least like 200 pages, because I was like, I can't tell via audiobook when we're jumping back in time until someone's randomly mentioned as being alive when they shouldn't be. And I'm like, where are we?
Yeah. There was some flashbacks with her brother, wasn't there, in there somewhere?
So I kept jumping back to conversations with him, and I was like, I thought he died. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We've gone back in time.
The Gurkish do have magic, don't they? They've got the Eaters. They're magic.
Yeah.
Because they were created by breaking, is it the first or the second law? One of them.
One of them. Yeah.
Still functioning with all the wounds they have.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Clearly, I've tuned out the goat. That might make more sense when you read the heroes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because his magic system is really all over the place still.
Oh, in terms of the gunpowder. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Like, do we have any theories for what's coming overall? It's hard to say.
I don't even know what's happening now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we know what battle the hero is? Like, which specific? Is it a battle? Is it a battle to come, or is it a battle we've had?
Yeah.
I've got it here because I couldn't fit Best Served Cold and the heroes on my shelf, so I took the heroes down to put Best Served Cold up. Oh, it's Black Dow.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah.
Remed Dan Gorst. Who was Dan Gorst is from the first trilogy, but I don't remember who that is.
I remember Ghost, but I don't remember.
Is he one of Gisele's friends? Because it says he's a master swordsman.
I think so.
Yeah.
Prince Calder. That is the... I know that name as well. But I thought he was one of the sons of the king, but they're all dead, which is why Gisele's king.
Yeah, I'm like, is it Gisele's son? Do we go that far in the time, or?
I don't think that Gisele's definitely still king because, well, it says the king of the Union. I'm just assuming it's Gisele.
Okay.
Oh, the one who was training Gisele is Ghost. Yeah, that makes sense. So it can't be that far in the future because he would be older than Gisele.
Years after, yeah.
And then Kerndon Craw, the last honest man in the north. I do like that each of the standalones is branching off with, because we had a lot of elements in the trilogy, so I like that the standalones are like taking one of those less explored elements and branching into that, like how this one dealt with the Duke and like Styria and stuff, and then this one is back to the north and like the other Northmen.
But yeah, Monza is essentially the queen now.
Yes. Is Styria Italy?
I didn't make that connection as I was reading it, but is it? No.
I think it's because of some of the names. Like her name is Monscara.
Oh yeah, they did sound quite Italian, but I just assumed that he'd chosen these type of names.
Like Borletta, Sapani.
Yeah, because of oh no, that's French. Ignore me. I was going to say Count of Monte Cristo, and I was like, no kidding. I'm very tired. Oh, Calder and Scales deaths were not on screen deaths. Resurrection trope again, folks.
Which one's Calder?
Fourth
in the first book. Fires. Oh, okay. Calder Flyer escaped. Oh, the Peking. I forgot about that.
Calder is Bethlod's youngest son, Prince of the Northmen.
Oh, so not a Prince of the Union, Prince of the Northmen. Okay.
Victoria says, coward, charmer, and schemer.
One of the cities they were in was like Venice. Yes, it was. Which is why I thought I took this to Italy. This is a book I read in Italy.
Yeah.
So I was like, reading it and looking around like,
I think this fits. Yeah. Thoughts on Nine Fingers?
I want to know where he is. I miss him.
Yeah, this is I think maybe why I liked it a little bit more, because I really loved Count of Monte Cristo. Like, it's one of my favorite all-time books. It took me forever to read, but
I was going to say you would think so. The amount of time it took you to read.
It's fucking huge. Have you seen that book? It's like the same as Stormlight.
But it only took you 4 days to read Rhythm of War.
I took time off work for that. That was important.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Pharaoh as well.
Pharaoh. Is Pharaoh coming back? I hope not. I wasn't a big Pharaoh fan.
I liked how she made shit really dramatic. And she just didn't give a fuck, so she'd be like, fuck protocol, I'm gonna do what I want. And then like, it was just fun to see that she didn't care. I quite enjoyed her.
I think that Logan hasn't been mentioned because Logan is currently thought dead. So the moment that Joe Abercrombie reveals him is going to be a big one.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would really be mentioned. And he is mentioned a lot in terms of Shivers referencing him constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that we're supposed to very much believe that he could be dead.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't buying it though. I am like, I need to see the body on the page.
Okay. Because like the Union's like the UK. We established that with the last one.
Thank you. I appreciate her too. She just would fuck shit up and things would get chaotic, and I live for a bit of drama and a bit of chaos. But yeah, I also want more Logan. I hope so.
It sounds like her.
Yeah. I hope so.
Come on.
No. We always come back to this. Are they dead or are they dead?
Yeah. I will say there's a time and a place for these books. Like, if we weren't reading them for a book club, I don't know if I'd have picked them up because they are so bleak. Like, they're fun, but they're bleak. So sometimes I'm just like, I would rather read anything more comforting than this. Like,
I think it's the futility of everything.
Yeah.
Like, Monza going to all this trouble just to find out that her death was deserved because her brother did what they said, that she claimed that they never did. And she just didn't know. Exactly.
There's like no fan service, really. There's no fan service unless they bring Logan back, in which case there will be.
And Glockter just stabbing people in the shadows.
Yeah.
I was reading, listening to this and sat waiting for my second flight to go home from Italy. And it was a scene where I keep wanting to say Logan. It's not Logan. It's the one that I think is Logan.
Shivers.
He was getting his eyeball burned out. And I was just sitting there, I felt like, oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Straight
no,
person.
that was I like we just said, the futility of everything's like a bit of a downer, like it's not fun. But I do like that. Part of me really likes that the consequences of people's actions are kind of realistic. Like the way that he could, like, their relationship was never the same because of that, because she felt such guilt and he was like, it should have been you and it should have been her and she knew it. And the way that he also didn't necessarily want to, but he did hold it against her. That like caused like the whole like downfall of their entire relationship and partnership in the second half. But like in terms of reading it, like it's hella depressing.
It's really bleak, yeah. And I like that occasionally. Like I don't always want a happy ending, but recently just been like, this is too much. I need happiness. Let's watch some K-dramas. That's what I do.
I watch Love Is Blind because you get a bit of both.
I think as well, like seeing a torture scene from one of your main characters where they don't just miraculously hold out against torture. Like Shiv is buckled so quick.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what?
Far too long and plotless. I usually like far too long and plotless. Like, just in general. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they're all pretty meaningless, yeah. It's just who can hold on to power for the longest, really. It's just a competition to see how long you're going to live for.
It's the way that it's all meaningless that gets me. Like, it feels kind of repetitive, like the futility of everything. Like, because, I mean, 7 times out of 10, life is pretty futile, but 3 times out of 10, it isn't. And you're not representing the 3 times out of 10.
I think it's almost like a grander scale of how, for years and years, I didn't think I liked reading contemporary books because I was just like, there's just nothing to it. Like, people just live their lives and that's that. Like, it's just the same in this. People live their lives for as long as they have them and then they're dead.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's how I feel about, because Hannah's saying about the sex scenes being realistic. While I do appreciate realism in some instances, I don't read necessarily for all realism. Like, realistic sex scenes I can do without. Just rather I very much stand in the camp of like sex scenes, if they don't have a part in the plot, should either be erotic or not included. Like if it's a part of the plot, like I don't know, if it's like a story about abuse, then the sex scene would help to illustrate that. But aside from that, if it's just a sex scene for the sake of a sex scene, it should be erotic or not included. Like,
I can get behind that.
I think as well, like, if I'm going to dedicate my time to reading a book, I need a reason to read it. So if you quite literally get to the end of a book and the point is that there is no point, I'm like, great, so why did I read it then?
The thing is, though, right, the thing that keeps getting me is that the way that he leaves little crumbs, it makes me believe that there is a plot. But I just feel the way that he feels like he's mocking fantasy, and it also feels like he's mocking me.
See, I kind of find it refreshing because in most fantasy you've got black and white, good and evil, and I love a morally grey. Let's go just for the slightly lesser evil version because everything's shit. So I quite like that, but also it doesn't give me much hope for the world, you know, because people actually genuinely be like this. This is just like heightened versions of bad folk.
See, I think when it comes to like morally grey characters, I still need to be able to root for them to some extent in terms of like, I can acknowledge that this is a terrible person, but you've made me believe why they're doing it.
Yeah, just like vindication, like justification and stuff.
Whereas I feel like to me, the first trilogy I did that. Like I like the characters, so I was like I'm like the biggest like Giselle and Logan apologist that there is. But in this, I didn't. Like, I didn't care about any of them, apart from the characters like the Poisoner, like Koska, that were there for comedic relief. And then I do actually like Vatari, but just because of the complexity of her, how she appeared in the trilogy, very surface level, but she actually has like kids and a life. And like this guy is potentially not her husband, but definitely her baby daddy. Like, so, but I just, there was no one to root for in this one for me.
Yeah, I was really only rooting for Costco, I think.
You're also just told like very plainly from the beginning what their motivations are.
Mm.
So it's just kind of like, okay, we didn't get to that point. We were just told, like, she's mad because her brother's dead. Off she goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. You didn't see any of the build up of her actually like getting along with her brother.
Yeah, the humor does help.
I think it's frustrating to read a book because, like, we read, and yeah, like normally it's good and evil, black and white, okay, and the hero wins in the end. But to some extent, that is why we read them.
Yeah,
and to feel like that is going to happen, and then to get to the end and realize it doesn't, for me, is very frustrating.
yeah, like it hurts even more.
Yeah, every book just ends with, and then they kind of just continued their life in the same pattern. So like Monza just continues, she's now the queen and she's going to continue to probably kill people, and Shivers is like a wreck of a man. Costco is just going to carry on like fooling people. And, like, it's just very unsatisfying to somebody who doesn't like ambiguity or anything like that. Like it irritates me that they end so open-ended.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just read this. I just read the phrase erotic squelching.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say when you were saying like it needs to either be erotic or non-existent, I'm like, let's go with non-existent. I don't want to give her Abercrombie erotica. Like, no thanks.
It's not so bad in print. That's good.
Still, can confirm.
I reject it.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like, what's the point? I'm just hoping there is a larger plot that ties everything together. I'm assuming there will be, because it does seem cleverly done. Like the reveals that we've had have been cleverly, plotted out for us.
It definitely alludes to there being a plot.
Yeah.
Like, so. Yeah, no. Oh, you never know.
He was really going for the grunting that was happening.
Oh.
I know. I was just sat there like, get my earphones off.
Yeah, I like that this book wasn't just a revenge story. It was more so, these are the consequences of what happens when you actually do get revenge, and how it's unsatisfying in the end. And she's like, well, fuck, did all that for what? Yeah.
I mean, that's just me reading these books. Did all that for what?
See, I like it because it is so realistic and bleak, but in a sense, I'm like, I need to be in the right headspace to read these, because otherwise, like Becca, I get really frustrated when it tries to steer me like, oh no, there's some hope. Oh no, wait.
Like the pessimistic and realist side of me really likes the futility, but then the side of me that reads books because not necessarily for escapism, but like for those big moments. Like I love like Here Comes the Cavalry trope and that kind of thing, and that's just not this. So like it's hard because I appreciate it, but it really irritates me at the same time.
Yeah, I get you completely. Yeah.
The thing that worries me is that he hasn't said that it's done.
Yeah. This is going to be George R.R. Martin all over again, folks. I don't think I can do that again. It's like we had this before.
I think maybe. I mean, George R.R. Martin is his role model. So
yeah.
This very much gave me Arya Stark's list of people to kill.
Oh, yeah. And then the Cersei and Jaime Lannister thing. Like,
yeah.
A bit on the nose. He seems to really want to do what's best for the people while still not being a pushover to other countries. Yeah. But she's also a woman in this world, and I feel like the women in this world don't do well.
She's also very selfish, though, because like somebody said to her, or somebody said at some point that she's like, oh, I want to do better. I don't want these people to die. But then all of the people that died for her chasing her revenge plot didn't matter. Like all of the innocent people that died, she wasn't bothered about that.
Yep. Yeah.
This is literally me. I said just before we went live, I was like, I think this may be where I just stop, because I'm just over it. I've got better things to be reading. I want to read the big grand stories, and this is not it. And from what I remember, Joe Abercrombie still has a lot of books to go. And I'm like, I don't think I could do it anymore. Which is sad because I want to stay here for Catch Up Book Club, but I'm like, every single time for the past 3 books now, 3 out of 4.
It's just not your jam.
Yeah. Come to read it, and I've had to force myself to, and I'm like, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, well, try reading a Wheel of Time book in between every one of these and then see how you cope in, because, like...
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I'm going to say that's your self-inflicted choice. I'm not going
to me, every other post has left the Wheel of Time read along now, so I can't. Okay.
Oh God, you gave yourself such a task as well with that series because there's so many books.
I've been doing sprints all day, and somebody, it was Beth. Beth was like, "How many do you have left?" And I was like, "When I've done this one, I'm a third of the way through."
No thanks.
I mean, at least with Hob, it was Hob, so it was great. Like
the audiobooks for Wheel of Time are helping. I will say that.
Yeah, the incest was a bit like...
Just laughing at humbly.
Reading them out of spite. See, I don't understand this either. Like, I read the first 2 or 3 books of Wheel of Time, and I just couldn't get on board. I feel like I can't quite.
I think it was book 4 where I started to realize there is actually some clever plotting in there, but the writing is hard to get through. But then I'm doing spoiler diaries, and even all of the fans are like, yeah, no, like the writing's terrible, but the plot's really good. So it was actually the big fans of the series that told me that if you listen to the audiobooks, you can tune out all of the shitty writing and just tune back in for the plot points, and it works.
Wow.
And it's the Sanderson narrators as well.
Oh, so that's good. Have you watched the TV show yet? I'm assuming so.
Watched season 1, but then I read the book, so I want to go back and rewatch season 1 before I watch season 2. Now that I have like more context of the book.
Yeah, we haven't started season 2 yet. Massey wants to, but then I'm always like looking at Dragon Reborn on my shelves, like, should I though? Should I continue? Even though I didn't love the first 2.
A lot of people said that the second season of the show is really good because I thought
the
first season was boring.
Yeah, Stasi, like, maybe the books get good, but then it's one of those series where they're like, you've got to get to book 8 before it really gets good. Like,
books 3 and 4 are 3 to 5 are good, and then 6 to 10, I think, or like 6 to 9 are not good, and then apparently 10's all right, and then Sanderson takes over, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Damn. Mood. I'm so stupid.
I mean, she's looking for extra hosts because there's only us 2 left, and I don't know how long I don't know how people live shows for this entire series. So if you want me to suggest you, Amberly, I will.
It's going to get to December, and Becca's just going to be waving a white flag at every series. Get me out.
Oh, the audiobook didn't help. Yeah, Rand was annoying me. It was Rand. He was just being an annoying little pussy boy, and I was just like, oh. Please.
No, that is very fair, but I really like Perrin and Matt and Min.
Yeah.
I know. See, I don't listen to a lot of audio, so I'm having a real good time listening to Fires of Heaven now because, like, Bree's got, like, 3 walks a day because I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm diamond painting, like, I'm making dinner and I'm reading at the same time, and it's, like, all great. But if I listen to a lot of audio, probably won't be having as much of a good time with it. It's just because I like listening to an audiobook and doing something, and I don't get to do that very often.
Mm-hmm.
They should make abridged versions like they do of classics.
Yeah.
I'd read that one.
Oh yeah, Rosamund Pike audios as well. Yeah, do love her.
I feel like since reading Hob, I've been in an epic fantasy slump because nothing's going to beat Hob.
No.
So
Who's Rob? Hob's like a very specific kind of fantasy as well.
Yeah, but I think since finishing that world, I don't think I've leaned towards picking up epic fantasy, and I thought I was going to start getting back into it, and then Joe Abercrombie ruined it for me again and he shoved me back in a slump. So
fair. I think
Whereas I feel like I am getting back into it because I'm switching between this and Wheel of Time, but that doesn't leave me much capacity to read any other epic fantasy.
Yeah.
I got back into it a bit after Hob with John Gwynne, but it's not the same vibe. And then thankfully Sanderson's Secret Projects have been coming out, so I really enjoyed Tress at least. But I feel you on that. Like after Hob, I was like, there is just nothing that's gonna top this for me in terms of fantasy.
I tried John Gwynne, didn't like that either.
I don't like that yet because I just really could do with not starting any more series right now.
So I'm just like, I know that I've still got plenty of options to try, but I think it's going to be a while before I jump back into epic fantasy. Because at the minute, all I want to read is Dark Academia Romancy. So
Fair.
I've been reading some horror just this month, though. I've only read 2, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I have read fuck all in a while, so I need to get back on it. I'm in my K-drama era. That's all I've been doing. Bridge Wheel of Time sounds great. Yeah.
I'm messaging Sandra right now, by the way, on Bully, so I hope you're free next time.
Starting Abercrombie a mistake. Possibly. It depends what kind of vibe you want, though. But yeah, Hob is just different. It just hits different. It's just so good. I have not yet read Wrath because I read nothing now. I just watch K-dramas with very predictable plots for the comfort value. But I will get back on it eventually.
I feel like I need to figure out what epic fantasy to pick up next because I'm like, I just feel burned by so many of the popular ones now that I'm like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, my faves are, but then again, I don't want to suggest it, but Stormlight. But you can feel like, no.
You gotta put the work in to get to Stormlight, though.
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson's on pause for now because he's been a 3-star person for a while. So he's on pause. I will return to him eventually, but
he's on pause for me at the minute, but just because I really have to like psych myself up to go back into Mistborn Era 2, like
that's fair. Yeah, Mistborn Era 2 is a bit of a struggle, but they are small books, so it helps for Sanderson's books.
Yeah.
I might try Jen Lyons just because I'm
do you have all of the paperbacks? Because
I'm just thinking all of the men authors aren't working for me.
No,
Lyons is very seasoned and hard.
No, The Ruin of Kings. I DNF'd this book with 150 pages to go. Like I was so close to the end, but my brain just could not anymore. So
I really liked book 1, but I didn't like book 2 because book 2 is the same again, but with a different main character.
No, I'm not doing that. No, don't do it.
I
Ashley.
wouldn't recommend Jen Lyons. I keep saying I'm going to go back and read book 3, but I read book 2 last March, so.
Well, I'm going to do an unhaul soon, so should I just get rid of that one?
I don't think it'll be your cup of tea. It's really confusing and like for what? Like what was the reason?
I do like the Lycanius trilogy. I read the first one of that and I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I need to read that too.
I do have Lies of Lamora. That's like a
yes.
Well, it's not finished.
I know it's not finished, but neither is every other epic fantasy series I've tried, and I'm just waiting on the next one.
Lies of Lamora and The Name of the Wind to go, but I just don't want to until they're finished.
They're both so good though.
Oh, I haven't. There's epic fantasy because I'm sure I've been reading something epic recently. It's Red Rising, which is it's sci-fi, but it's like an epic fantasy plot. So like,
DNF book 2 for now.
It's only my favorite book ever, but all right.
For now, I will return to it. I just wasn't in the mood because I've said slump that it's happening.
Yeah,
I do have Ashes of the Sun. That could be an option.
Actually, is that Django Wexler?
Yeah.
I've heard Mel really likes that and Ash really likes that. Heard very good things. I have it. And the premise sounds good. Oh, the narrator for the Red Rising narrator narrates these in audio. So I want to listen. I already had this on my radar because Cass really likes this series. It's one of her favorites. But I don't have it. But now that I know that the Red Rising narrator narrates it, it's bumped it right up my list.
Have you tried this one?
What's the first book in that? Because I recognize the series.
I recognize the name, and then I'm like, I do need to continue with Juliet Marillier, but she's not what I consider epic fantasy. She's just like folkloric fantasy. But I do need to continue that.
This is funny. I've got more issues with the book than I realised. Drop to please. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. Really bad fairy tale fantasy.
I do need to get back into that series. I was so excited.
Are these all romantasy? Because they're going straight over my head. Yeah, figured as much.
Oh, IDNF, that series. The blood one. Blood Race.
Oh, Queen of the Tearling was so good.
I want to return to that because I never continued past the first one just because I completely forgot what had happened by the time the second one came out.
It's such a polarizing ending, but I personally loved it.
That's why I want to read it though, because everyone's got such strong opinions on it. I want to know what mine is. And I do have the full trilogy. I just need to actually get to it.
So good. K-dramas are good then. Yes. Rage of Dragons, yeah, that's very battle heavy though, very training heavy.
But it's also like very angsty.
Yeah. Oh, Sword of Kagan was so good. Oh, I recommend Sword of Kagan, but she hated it, so take that as you will.
That's the standalone, but isn't it a connected world of standalones?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just, it is a standalone, but it's like it has a wider plot, so I guess it could be.
Yeah. It's a fantasy that like hits you hard in the feels, so it's a kind of like hobbish in that sense.
Hobbish.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet, but I have G's copy that she was unhauling, so
yeah, G didn't. To be fair, G didn't make it halfway through though. But then when you get to halfway through, it's one of those you've got to put the work in, but it's actually really worth it in the end. So you get to halfway through and you're like, so I said to her, I was like, did you? She was like, you can spoil it for me. I was like, well, after this point, were you not invested? She was like, I didn't get to that point. I'm like, well, there you go then. That's why you didn't like it.
Somebody in my Discord tried to DNF Red Rising when they weren't even halfway through the other day, and I was like, it's just not allowed. It's illegal.
You've got to continue.
I just saw Eleanor's thing. Robin Hobb confirmed the other day on Facebook she's writing a book with B in it.
Yeah, she did. She mentioned it a couple of months ago, I think.
I'm just like, there's going to be another Hobb book. I don't care who's in it.
Well, then, when she said she's writing a book with B in it, like the implications of that, and then I was just sad. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad now. That's fine. Original narrator or graphic audio for Red Rising?
The original narrator is so good that you don't need graphic audio. Like they actually changed Lightbringer to just him, and you can't even tell that it's only one narrator, even though it's multi-perspective. He's so good. Like, he does female perspectives, and I wasn't even offended.
I do have Night Throne. I feel like if I'm looking at my shelves and there's any that I'm going to go for, it might be The Wolf of Aranyaro.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard mixed things about that.
Me too, but I'm just, for some reason, I've always been kind of like pulled towards that one more, so I feel like I need to try it eventually.
I can't remember. I think I heard that the first book was good, but the series isn't great. But I heard that about Ninth Throne as well, that the first book's the best.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever read a series where I've read the last book in the series the same as I would the first, I always enjoyed the first one the most.
Yeah, I agree with that. It takes a bit, but so good.
That's the Michael J. Sullivan ones. I think it's the Chronicles of I don't know how to say Rhaenyra.
Are these all romantasy? Would I like them?
No, the Michael J. Sullivan ones are, I think it's about 2 mercenaries or something.
How have maybe I've seen the novels, because this seems right up my street.
It's the first book.
Oh, do I not have this? I think it might be
what you did.
I thought I had this. No, maybe I thought I need to buy this.
Yeah, Theft of Swords is the first one, but there's 2, it's like one where there's 2 or 3 series that can all connect together, I think.
Intermingle. Okay, I need this. Thanks, guys, for putting that back on my radar.
How old are these books?
Maybe Hob Age.
They look older.
Let me look. I've got them open on Goodreads. The bind up of books 1 and 2 is 2011, so that doesn't help because they're not. Oh, maybe they are new.
I'm just on his website, but it's really given I don't even know what to liken it to.
Yeah, it says 2011, I think.
Let's look at the original. The Crown Conspiracy. 2008. So yeah, they're pretty new.
Interesting.
I love that his website is literally just like about me, and it's just all of the awards he's won.
It's like, I'm great. Look at my accomplishments.
Literally, though.
Yeah, it really has.
I did say I took Brie for a walk before this, and I said to Curtis, like, because I didn't like this book, there's not too much I can say on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at the time and I had everything that everything I needed to say was done by like 24 minutes past, so I'm surprised we've been going for an hour.
We've done well. We had to pad it out a bit because there's less of us as well for like time for opinions and stuff.
It's true.
And also, like, it's not as easy to theorize when you're given a standalone, because a large section of every other live show we do is just like, so what do we think the next book's going to be?
Happen, yeah.
And then all we were given in this one was the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
but
kind
they
of like,
just raised more questions than gave any kind of answers, really.
Yeah, this is true. So yeah, I think that's everything we've got to say about Best Served Cold, unless anyone in the chat has anything they want to talk about.
No, I think it's a short one today.
Yeah.
We needed Cass. Cass loves this series. We needed you to balance us out.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was just okay. I'm excited to see what the next one, because the next one's going back to the north, which has me more excited.
I'm still excited for the trilogy. I'm a little bit worried about the standalones because this was the one with the plot I was most interested in, because we have a battle and then a western. Yeah,
westerns I'm a bit concerned about.
Peace.
Oh, also we had a question. Live show for the heroes. When will that be?
That is going to be the middle of November because we need to get back on track, because this was supposed to be September. So
wait, when's the ALC? Is that the middle of November?
10th.
Okay, we'll make it.
Yeah, we'll do it like the week after, maybe, which is the week of BookTube meets, but that's on Saturday, and I think I'm coming home on Saturday, so I don't think I'll be there Sunday. So we'll set a soft date now for the 19th of November.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we'll have 2 months in between the next two, like normal.
I agree with this.
I've heard good things about the heroes so far, even though I don't particularly want to read it because it's a battle. But then I also heard good things about Best Served Cold, and I did not agree. So the thing about this that I find really interesting is how everybody has varied opinions, even within the series, like how I love the trilogy but didn't love this one. And but some people really loved this one, so like it's interesting how everyone's opinions are very different.
Yeah, I saw a lot of reviews that were like, this is Abercrombie's best yet. And I'm like, side-eye, I'm like, no, there's no Glockter, so disagree.
What is everyone, like, why does, there's so many authors who do epic fantasy who just have a random Western book?
As well, like, he doesn't even write fantasy, and his fantasy's a Western.
I just like, we're just like, even like, obviously with Brandon Sanderson's got the one random Western one just chilling over there.
I'll ask you a question. Has a female author ever done it? Is it a man thing?
Is it I want to ride on a... Is it a patriarchy thing? Is it about the horses? That's what I want to know.
Depends, Mojo Dojo Casa House. Mojo Dojo Casa House, is it?
Yeah. Maybe this is the real Roman Empire of male fantasy authors is Westerns.
Maybe.
It's funny because like I'm so obsessed with Red Rising, so whenever you get the Roman Empire, like I think about the Roman Empire more than Curtis does. He said I think about it like every day because of Red Rising.
Yeah, I can't say I think about it a lot. But I asked Massey, and Massey said he thinks about it at least once a day. And I was like, why? And he was like, it's my ancestors. He was like, but they're my family. Okay.
Maybe it's the Roman Empire thing.
Conspiracy.
You know what, though? I would much rather they went with Roman Empire because the Roman Empire is actually really interesting.
Yeah. So you guys also have the new Jameses linked in on your TBR, the Will of the Many as well. That's like Red Rising meets Name of the Wind. I'm like,
Excuse me?
but it's Dark Academia, so it's.
Excuse me?
Hang on, I'm posting a haul on Tuesday. It's in that.
Can you post it now? I need to make notes.
Will of the Many, did you say?
I think it was called.
Oh, the new James Islington.
Oh, I've seen the thingy of this, the cover of this.
See, I can't have that book because I haven't finished the trilogy, so I'm not allowed to do that.
I haven't started the other trilogy yet, but I'm like, this one though is Red Rising meets Name of the Wind. I want to read it now. So.
Stop. I'm not awful. Have you read Lightbringer yet?
No, I haven't even read Dark Age yet. What's Iron Gold, and now I feel like I need to reread the whole thing.
I sobbed at the end of Lightbringer, like.
God. I don't even own Lightbringer. Why did I not pre-order that? That's weird.
Wait, hasn't Massey read Lightbringer? He's up to Lightbringer, right?
No, he hasn't read Iron Gold yet. Have you read Iron Gold? Mass. Cheeky. The Red Rising series, have I made you read Iron Gold yet, or did you just read the first 3?
Have I made you read it yet?
He said there's more than 3?
Oh, God.
He's currently reading the Greenbone Saga, and he's really into it. He really likes Hilo, so...
There's so many more than 3. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll get you a paperback of Iron Gold. I did tell you don't listen.
I love that you won't give him the special editions either.
No, I won't give him my hardbacks to read. No, he won't. He's too much of a snob. He's like, I can't read a hardback. I need a paperback. But also, to be fair, he wrecks my books. So I'm going to buy him a paperback of Iron Gold specifically. So we can continue. Yeah, it's really pretty.
I think because it's got columns on it, that's why I like looked at it at one point.
Because it's like an academy, I think. It's like a magic school thing, but I've heard like Dark Academia tangent, like, you know.
See, I haven't, like, I obviously know that he's a fantasy author because I've read him before, but I've done the opposite where it has columns on, so I haven't looked at it because those books to me are like literary fiction, Greek mythology retellings, and I don't read those. So that's what it looks like to me, which is why I haven't got it.
Maybe this will be like a book club read that we do, and we see if we can like hit all of like our interests in one go.
Oh yeah, me and Cassidy are very like, I don't understand because Cassidy's reading taste is like half mine, half Jade's, and anything that Jade loves, I hate. So I don't understand how she can be in the middle.
Because Cassidy did a video at one point because I said that we either have the exact same matching opinion or it's the complete opposite. So we tested it, and it still remains true.
Yeah, the Greenbone Saga is fab. Massey was like, so Hilo did this fucked up thing, but I still stand. And I'm like, yeah, that's basically the series.
I should write a dissertation on every male character in a book that does a fucked up thing that I still stand, and why they should be pardoned. Be like Hilo, Darrow, Cassius, and Logan.
Yeah.
Like, why these mediocre men still deserve rights.
Jade did love the trilogy. See, I'm half and half with Jade. Usually we're on point with each other, but I really don't understand the Ruin of Kings hype, like Jen Lyons. I just could not get into that book. So much that I'm like, so like, is it me? Is it my brain? Like,
no, I don't love it either. I love the first book, but then I wanted the second book to build upon the first book, and it just made it more confusing. Like, which one's
like, if you're going to be that confusing, at least be entertaining at the same time. Like Gideon, I can vibe with, you know. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm having a great time. But with Ruin of Kings, it was just annoying me. Yeah, I'd watch this. Mediocre Men and Why They Deserve Rights. I would watch that.
Can you imagine? Oh no, because the people that would comment on the video
would not be happy.
I would be raging constantly.
That'd be funny though. But yes. Is that us, folks? Do we have anything else to discuss?
I don't think so. Just more books that we should be reading.
Yeah.
But we're not, because we're reading this one we don't like. Oh, God.
Is the next one at least shorter than this? The Heroes one?
I have it right here. What did I do with it?
This is like 660 or something.
Slightly. It's 610.
Okay.
You saved those 50 pages.
Yeah, it's exactly, it's 610.
Hmm.
Oh, I hate his stupid face. Can you believe that we almost called this Dad a Crombie? Look how smug he is.
Oh yeah. Does this mediocre man deserve rights? We'll let you know once we've read the heroes.
It's actually technically 599 pages because, oh my god, there's a map.
What?
I was gonna say, I feel quite confused about his like thing of we don't need maps, but then all of the book covers are maps.
We've got is this a dramatic person? Yeah. Order of battle. So it's everyone, all the characters, and then a map. So that's 11 pages, and then there's 599 pages of the book.
You just like
Damn.
I'm actually excited because like I liked the first one, it's just this one that I didn't like.
Oh,
the
19th. Yeah. 19th of November. But tentative because life. Yeah. We'll see.
People that aren't here that we haven't confirmed that with, but that's like what we're aiming for.
Yeah, I need a map. 23 hours on audio versus the 36 Wheel of Time.
Yeah, no, I'm already like 20 hours into Wheel of Time, and I'm excited because I have less than 20 hours left. I've got 16 hours left.
I can't remember what it was that I listened to once that was like 40 hours, and I was like,
wasn't it one of the Miss Bond books and you managed to squeeze it into 24 hours?
Yes, I think so, because I remember doing a video for that. And I never came out of it more delirious in my life, and I was just like... But yeah. We done?
I think so.
Is Becca
frozen?
Exceptionally still.
Good timing though, because we're like, let's head. Oh yeah, the last Hob book was like 45 hours. That was intense. But yeah, I guess we say bye then. I don't know if Becca's coming back.
It's a little.
Yeah. Oh, it's too funny. All right, gang. We'll just end in case she's not coming back. She's gone. She's like, I'm out of here.
Becca says bye. I guess
bye. I think that's us done. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us, folks. Hopefully we all like the next one more. As a host, you all seem to like this one. But yeah, wish us luck. And yeah, thanks for joining. And we'll catch you in the next one next month. Okay, bye.